American Pie, directed by Paul Weitz, and this is a teen sex comedy film, and this has been 25 years since this film came out. Originally I was about to do this like last month or back in July, but I didn't get a chance to do it because I was so busy doing other stuff. I never got really to sit down and talk about this movie. So finally, better late than never, let's talk about this movie, American Pie. Four friends, Jim, Oz, Finch and Kevin, made a pact to try every trick in the book to ensure that they lose their virginity before prom night. What can I say about American Pie? That everyone's been saying this millions and millions and millions of times, that it's a classic. It's one of the most funniest teen comedy movie or teen sex comedy movie, if you will. One of those films that's so relatable. You can relate to these characters and their situations, and even during that time you can get into that situation yourself, which I've been there most of the time. Well, not everything what they did, but you get the idea. You go through high school years and lead up to your adulthood. It's one of those relatable situations because there's so many characters. Some all have their own plot lines and their story arcs, but they all flew in together. It fell into this 99-minute movie, an hour and a half comedy film, that it felt genuine. It felt like it's pacing through that story, and it didn't lose its track. It just kept it flowing all throughout. It's just very much what you expect from it. That's all. That's all I can say. I'll start with the characters. The characters themselves are so likable, so endearing. They're just so much fun to watch. Especially Jim, played by Jason Biggs. Jim, he's basically like the main character of the film, like the main focus, even though there's so many other characters get their own story to tell from that perspective. But Jim is the biggest character, basically from the opening scene where we see him in the bedroom and he's ready to go into his masturbating situation where he's watching some illegal channels, which you pretty much can see what's going on. You don't know, we can't really see, it's unclear. And his parents walked in, it became a big scene in the open, which is, yeah, let's just say that is the most embarrassing but cringiest moment. And especially when Jim messes up the pie, let's just say that, I don't want to say the other word, but you know what I'm talking about. He's basically did the thing with the pie, and Jim's dad comes in, sees him. It's just one of the most awkward moments in movie history. Just say about Jim's dad, despite Steve Stifler is my favorite American Pie character, but Jim's dad, played by Eugene Levy, always put a smile on my face. He's just a fun, caring, loving dad that everyone that wants in real life, because not only that Jim's dad's so caring and understanding, he doesn't make fun of Jim. Whatever stuff he gets into, he doesn't make fun of him. He doesn't mock him or embarrasses him or shouts at him. It's more like going, look, I get it. You're a teenager. You're hitting that puberty. We all know. I've been through there most of the time. I get the feeling. It's completely natural. Let me help you, son. Let me help you. Jim's dad bought Jim a couple of magazines and basically show about the girls in the magazines, especially this one scene right here that made me laugh consistently, which is so funny. The face expression he made, hilarious. Check this out.
Look at the expression on her face. You see that? See what she's doing? She's kind of looking right into your eyes, saying, "Hey, big boy. Hey, how you doing?" You see?
Right.
Oh, I love Jim's dad. He's just so funny. Eugene Levy, he'd become a big parent character in this franchise throughout this movie, throughout the series. He's just so likable. He's just such a caring, loving father that every people like myself want a dad like that. Even though I still love my dad. If you watch this, I do apologize, Dad, but Jim's dad is just so caring, so loving, so understanding. So Oz is basically a sports guy, and he's trying to get into these girls, but of course during that party at Stifler's house, he brought a college girl who was about to get laid with her, but of course the girl turned him down because he said that he's not being sensitive, or he's not being that, listen to the girl what they want, trying to listen to them, pay attention to them, kind of stuff. And of course Oz joins into this choir group, more like, where he meets and fell in love with Heather. Heather is a girl that Oz falls in love with, and Heather starts to feel the same when he both first meet at the choir class, and of course both of them start to fall in love. You knew at one point they're going to fall in love straight away. Of course, you do see the romance blooming. Of course, Austin's arc is really good. You see him being this jock guy, but now he's becoming more sensitive towards Heather, and he's showing his caring side towards her, which I always love, especially towards the end when he's finally given up his game season before he graduates. He tries to join the choir for the last time just to see Heather, just to be with her, just to show how much he appreciates her. And then they both clicked. I just love that scene very well. Just the scene that worked, it's just the chemistry between them is just so brilliantly well done. Kevin and Vicky, who is Kevin, who's made the pact from the very beginning, which we do see after Stifler's party didn't do well. He wants to make a pact so they can try and get laid after prom, before they graduated, just trying to get into that manhood so they can leave high school for good. It's just one of those situations. It's just that Kevin's such a likable guy, even though he's tried to have sex with Vicky, but he doesn't really admit that he's in love with her. Vicky keeps showing him love for him, but he never returned the favour, like telling her that he loves her because he's only interested in having sex. Of course, we get to the end of the film where Kevin admits that he loves her, but even though soon Vicky is going to go to a different university or college than Kevin, it starts to show that they need a break or take a distance relationship, trying to make it as friends, which we'll talk about the sequel later on. But I would say Kevin has the more interesting arc in the film, definitely the most developed. And of course, he gets this advice from his brother, played by Casey Affleck, which is Ben Affleck's brother. Kind of interesting to see that in the film, where he finds this sex book because Natasha Lyonne, I can't remember the character's name, played by Natasha Lyonne, who is Vicky's best friend. And of course, he gives advice to Kevin, talking about giving her the return, the favour, because Vicky is giving Kevin oral sex, and of course Kevin doesn't give her a return because he just wants to get into the main course, let's just say that. And of course Vicky's got this advice to him to give him the return, the favour for her. So Kevin got this sex book to give her the you-know-what area, to give her the oral, which very weird scene, but it's just so, but not in the most disgusting way, but done in the way it's so smartly written. It's just so good, well done. And of course another character is Finch, who is basically, well, aka Shitbreak if you're Steve Stifler. Finch is just like, he's just out of his league type of character, where he's trying to make a representation to himself that he's like knows what he's doing. It's like the toilet scene with the whole thing that Stifler puts in his coffee or his smokicino, whatever it's called. That scene is hilarious but embarrassing cringe. But Finch is just that guy who's trying to get himself to school, trying to get the females to talk about him. Of course, there's so many scenes there and there. And of course, now it's all failed because now Stifler messed up his plans, messed up his opportunity to get himself a girlfriend. It's just a weird situation, but it's still so effective. I don't know how he does that. It's just, what can I say? It's already been said before. It's just hilarious, but it's so well done. Especially gets to nail on Stifler's mom, played by Jennifer Coolidge. Hilarious. That's become a thing throughout this franchise. Well, the first three, but the fourth one is different, but we'll get to that later on the time. But let's just say this now. Steve Stifler, played by Seann William Scott. Stifler is probably the most funniest, most fan favourite out of the American Pie. Probably my favourite as well, because when you see him, yes, he's a dick, he's an asshole, he's a bit of such a complete jerk of a character, but a likeable dickhead and a complete asshole he is, but he's so funny. Seann William Scott played it straightforward. He played it so convincing as a jock and a complete asshole he is, and a possible ladies' man type of guy, where he's trying to tell these girls, especially has this one girl that he gave her the drink. Well, he actually drank it, but he didn't realise it was Kevin's you-know-what. Of course, Stifler drinks it and he starts puking, which is disgusting, but probably the most disgusting part of the film, even though it's funny, but I think in the commentary, I think the director or writer said that happened to them one time. They had drunk the drink, which is, I believe that was so disgusting, but it's so relatable in a certain way, because you can feel that. You can feel that they try to experience what they experience, and also the things that they didn't want to do, but even though they want to add it in to make it so relatable in a certain way. And of course, we do have other characters. We have some side characters as well. Not only we have the boys and of course Vicky, but our girls, we have Nadia, played by Shannon Elizabeth, which now becomes the most infamous scene in American Pie, which I guarantee you, if American Pie made today, they will never make this scene with Nadia, because Nadia is Jim's love interest that Jim is up having a crush on, and Nadia asked Jim to help her with her studies, her history, homework stuff, and of course Jim agreed, and his friends like Steve Stifler, Finch and Kevin, maybe Oz doesn't want to get part of it, but basically they asked him or forced Jim to, I think it's mostly Stifler forced him to put on a webcam so he can watch Nadia get undressed after ballet, and of course Jim doesn't like the idea at first, but then of course he has to go with it. And of course, the whole scene with Jim setting the webcam. Now, originally it's meant to be him and his friends, which by itself, it's still pretty much wrong. It's still pretty much messed up. It's still one of the worst scenes that it makes you cringe. It makes you go, that is wrong, but it's so funny, but it's wrong at the same time. But Jim is such an idiot. Not only he showed it to his friends like Stifler, Finch and Kevin, but he accidentally sent the email wrong to the whole school. So pretty much everyone from that school sees Nadia undressed, completely naked, well, half naked, and of course she's masturbating in Jim's bed while reading his magazines. Of course, Jim comes in and not only he embarrassed himself in front of the camera, webcam, where he's strip dancing, and of course, not only that, he accidentally pre-ejaculated not once, but twice before he gets to touch her inappropriately. And it becomes a big scene. It's a big scene in that film, which is now completely messed up. It's still wrong. It is a wrong now, because I think Shannon Elizabeth did say that if this get made today and it's going to be a whole Me Too movement, it would have been completely wrong. I think she's not wrong about that. It is wrong now. You can still make American Pie today. Maybe you could, but I don't think this scene will work because the whole controversy going around in that scene. But again, it's a funny scene, but even though it is wrong, you look at it in the lenses. Not only that, Jim has to get another date since Nadia has to go back to her home country. And of course, this is another character, a fan favourite. That is Alyson Hannigan as Michelle. Michelle is a band geek girl who is not really a big character in this one, but then in the course of the later sequels, she becomes like a big, important character in this series. And of course, Jim asks her on a date because she doesn't know what's going on. But even though at prom night before they get laid, Michelle knows that, but even though she doesn't want to say anything, but she's so understanding. It's just her character, especially the way she says, this one time at band camp, we had a campfire and this happened and it was so funny. It's just such a funny character, Michelle, but she's a dorkable leading character, female for Jim to fall in love with in the future, which I'd love to see talk about that in the sequels. Michelle, what can I say about her? She's just a funny character, and I love Alyson Hannigan. She's a funny person. I really liked her. And of course, we have the Shermanator, Sherman. Sherman is a Terminator fanboy who's basically trying to act like the Terminator, but he's trying to get into women, trying to have sex with them, and trying to say, I'm going to travel back in time for one lucky lady. So embarrassing. It's just so weird, but it's cringing, but it's so dorkily funny, which I don't know what to say about that. My overall opinion of American Pie is, I think it still holds up to this very day in terms of comedy, humour. Maybe the minus the Nadia scene, which now has become problematic, but I don't fancy it a problem. It's kind of like a scene you kind of get to, even though it is wrong now, today's society, because how problematic it is. But again, call me insensitive, call me that I'm being insensitive about myself, about the whole American Pie film, but I still loved it. I think it's still so funny to this day. Still enjoyable comedy film that many people will watch today and still have a good laugh at it. I'm going to give American Pie an A-. Thank you so much, guys, for watching, and stay tuned for more reviews coming. And of course, until next time, see ya!